What's up guys? I am back with another meal prep video. If you're new to my channel, my name is Nisha. On this channel, I love to share how you can get fit and lean in your 40s and beyond. So if you are someone who is trying to get fit as a vegan and not sure what type of meals to incorporate to build some lean muscle mass, then make sure you stick around and subscribe to my channel. All the meals in today's meal prep are pretty simple. If you have been following me for a while, you know that I like to keep things simple and easy because simplicity is the key to success when it comes to achieving your fitness goals. And we all lead a very busy life, including myself. Simple meals don't have to be boring, so that's why I like to show you how you can keep things pretty basic and simple while you can still get some time in your hand to focus on other things. One advice I can give you from my own experience, if you are new to plant-based lifestyle, please don't get stuck in one way of eating. Be open-minded, try to experiment and see what works for you and for your personal goals. If your goal is to maintain a fit body and while gaining some lean muscle mass and have that tight toned body, you have to lift weights and you have to fuel your body accordingly. But you just have to work smarter and plan your meals accordingly. So I'm super excited to share all my meals with you. As always, if you find any value in my content and videos that I put out, then please don't forget to engage with my videos by commenting or hitting like or sharing. It really helps me out with my YouTube algorithm and it helps grow my channel. I will be going over the full macro breakdown of this meal prep at the end of this video, so make sure to stick around till the end. I don't want to take up much of your time, so let's head on over to the kitchen and get started. Dinner is going to take the longest, so we are going to start with our dinner. I am soaking 150 grams of TVP in hot water and I'm going to keep that aside. And these are the ingredients we're going to be using for our dinner. We are going to be making TVP tacos with some veggies. I'm going to chop up all my veggies and then we are going to be using fajita seasoning and some smoked paprika, garlic powder, salt, and we're going to season everything and put it in the oven. So before you start chopping your veggies, make sure you turn on your oven at 400°F to preheat so that by the time you are done chopping, you can just season everything and put it in the oven. Now that our dinner is cooking, we can get started on our breakfast. For breakfast, I am making steel cut oats with some shredded carrots. I really love shredded carrots in my steel cut oats. If you don't like them, you can skip this, but I highly recommend it. Adds the volume, and carrots, when they're cooked in steel cut oats, they just get so creamy and delicious in my opinion, but again, it's optional. Then I added some cinnamon and cardamom powder, and I'm going to cook it with some hot water. I am using about 3 to 4 cups of hot water, so do that according to your consistency. Just keep in mind that we are going to be adding protein powder into these once they are cooked, and protein powder tends to absorb liquid, so keep that in mind. And for our toppings, I'm going to be using 3 apples. I'm going to dice them into small pieces, and then I'm going to cook them on stovetop with some maple syrup, water, and some cinnamon, and cook them for about 5 to 7 minutes till they start to get soft. And we're also going to make sure we are stirring the apples and the oats occasionally to prevent them from sticking to the pan. To keep this meal prep under hour and a half, we have to multitask. So while our dinner is cooking in the oven and while our oats are cooking on the stovetop, we're going to get started with our lunch ingredients. For lunch, we are going to be making barbecue jackfruit and tofu mixture that you can add to your buns. I'm using Ezekiel buns, but you can use any buns of your choice. Sometimes I like to use white buns. I know it's bad, but sometimes I really enjoy white buns. And I'm going to get started with draining out all the jackfruit brine, and I'm using a mesh strainer to squeeze out all the excess brine. You have to really squeeze out all the brine from jackfruit, otherwise it's not going to get crispy. While I have that put aside, I am chopping up my onions and mushrooms, and in between I'm going to be checking up on my steel cut oats on the stovetop and also my apples, and make sure you're stirring them occasionally. They should be almost done at this point. I purchased my steel cut oats from Costco, and I find that they get cooked between 15 to 20 minutes max. And I'm also going to break my tofu into big chunks and keep that aside as well. To keep things moving, we are multitasking, so I am checking up on my veggies. After about 10 minutes of cooking, I found that mushrooms were starting to release some water, so I drained out the water from mushrooms in the sink and I put the veggies back in after flipping them. I'm going to do the same thing with TVP mixture, flip it over and then let it continue to cook. I'm going to take out my veggies after 20 minutes and I'm going to let the TVP cook for 30 minutes in total. So make sure you keep that in mind. Alright, our steel cut oats and apples are cooked. I have put them aside for now, and now we are starting with sauteing onion for our lunch ingredients. I just added about 3 sprays of avocado oil to saute my onion. While our onions are sauteing, I am going to make the barbecue sauce, and I'm going to keep that aside. These are all the ingredients I'm going to be using to make the barbecue sauce. It may seem like a lot, but don't worry, it's going to be just enough for all the ingredients we are using for this. We have quite a lot of ingredients. We have about 800 grams of extra firm tofu, 220 grams of raw mushroom, some onion, and we also have 540 grams times 2 jackfruit. So it's a lot of food, so you're really going to be needing a lot of sauce to season everything nicely. I will leave all the details in the description box below.
Once our onions have browned for about 5 minutes, then we are going to add mushrooms, and we are going to cook mushrooms until they fully release water and the water evaporates. And at that point we can add the jackfruit, the tofu, and all the sauce ingredients, and we're going to mix everything nicely. We're not going to be cooking this on stovetop. We are just mixing everything nicely on the stovetop, and then we're going to transfer it to an air fryer. If you're not using an air fryer, you can use your oven to do the baking. I personally like to use the air fryer because I find things get more crispier in an air fryer, and I find it's much faster than the oven, but that's just my preference. And I'm going to be using air fryer in 2 different batches in my case because it was a lot of food, and I found that when I was adding everything together in one shot, it wasn't cooking nicely or air frying. So I ended up cooking that into 2 separate batches in an air fryer. While our tofu is air frying, I added 1 scoop of vanilla protein powder into each steel cut oats. I portioned them out equally, and then I added apples, and again I portioned them out equally. Then I added 1 tablespoon of raisins and 1 tablespoon of chopped walnuts. This breakfast is absolutely delicious, and it's about 498 calories and 37.4 grams of protein. Our TVP and veggies are ready. Now we can portion out our dinner containers. I am going to be using 4 containers for this dinner, and I'm also going to be using 2 tablespoons of salsa in each container. I added some cilantro and a lime wedge on top. You want to keep calories low, so I didn't add any high calorie dressings. These are the corn tortilla I am using. They are about 100 calories for 2 tortillas, and when you're ready to eat, you can add about 1/4 of an avocado to your tortillas and your favorite hot sauce. To keep protein high, I am using Ezekiel English muffins, but you can use any of your choice. But make sure if you do switch them out, your protein content will change. And to keep this high protein lunch, not everything may fit on this bun, so you can keep the mixture of tofu and jackfruit in your lunchbox container on the side. You're going to want to portion out about 590 grams of mixture for each meal to get the entire protein content out of this meal. And you may prep this on the night before if you don't like your buns to be soggy. I personally don't like my buns to be soggy, so I keep the mixture in a container, and I will toast my buns on the day that I'm ready to eat, and then I will add the mixture on top. And these are the white buns that I use sometimes. We can't forget about dessert, so for dessert I am making Silken tofu ice cream. You might be wondering what? Trust me, it turns out really good. I am using butterscotch keto pudding and some vanilla extract for this, maple syrup, and some stevia drops. You need a little bit higher sugar in ice cream, so to keep the calories low, I am using stevia drops. You can use whatever sweetener you like, and again, you can play around with all these flavors. You can even add chocolate keto pudding to this with some cacao powder, and I really love soft red velvet cookies as my add-on. If you don't like that, you can switch them out with whatever you like. I was amazed how creamy and delicious this Silken tofu ice cream turned out. I'm going to be making this all the time, and I'm going to play around with my add-ons and flavors. I highly recommend you guys to give this one a try. I will leave all the details in the description box below. To quickly recap, you are getting approximately 1700 calories if you add 1/4 of an avocado with your tacos, and you are getting about 125 grams of protein in this meal prep. You meet all your macronutrients except vitamin D and B12, so you will have to supplement those. If you guys found today's video helpful, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and comment below. Please subscribe to my channel for more content like this. I will see you guys very soon on my next one. Bye.